Hello, class. Good afternoon. Welcome back to your social class. Let us continue with the chapter which we did in the previous class. That is, which chapter we did? Geography, chapter 1, natural resources, right? So, in the previous class, we saw what do you mean by resource, the different types of resources, okay? And specifically in detail, we saw natural resources and also resources, classification of resources on the various categories on the basis of origin, on the basis of development, on the basis of availability, distribution, and renewability, right? Okay, so today let us see some of the different natural resources on the basis of origin. Okay, first we will see on the basis of origin, that is biotic and abiotic resources. Now, this, as I told you, biotic and abiotic is based on the basis of origin, and natural resources can be classified in either of the one categories. Now, what do you mean by biotic? In layman's term, if I tell you, biotic means all the living resources, okay, the living organisms, the living being, the biological resources, such as, for example, plants, animals, insects, they all come under biotic resources. And abiotic resources means those resources like all the non-living things, such as land, right, minerals, soil, water, climate, okay, this comes under abiotic resources. I hope you got the difference between biotic and abiotic. One is based on living, the other one is based on non-living. Next category of resources, if you see as mentioned in your textbook, that is page number 10, actual and potential resources. The word itself is very much self-explanatory, actual and potential. Like many times you might have heard teachers, especially teachers saying it to the students, that this child, this student has got the potentiality, but however she is not utilizing it. So as a result, the result is not so good, or you can say that everything goes in vain just because the person is not utilizing his or her potential. Same comes here also when we talk about resources. Now let us see what do you mean by actual and potential. Actual and potential resources are basically classified on the basis of development, how on the stage, the various stages of development. And resources like whose quantity, whose quality are known, it is known to us, that is called actual resources in simple term. Okay, and uh, resources like, for example, that are known to exist, but however you know they have not been used yet. Like if I tell you, yeah, the desert of Rajasthan and all, okay, the western places of our country, we all know there is a huge amount of this, what do you call, abundant solar energy, wind energy, which can be utilized, solar energy, by making those solar cells and all, and it can be utilized to to make electricity, even by building windmills and all. But however, if you see those places, those resources, it has got the potentiality, but it is not being used. So those type of resources are called potential resources. All right, now I just gave you an introduction. I hope you understood what I mean. Now I'll go through the text as I read. Look into your book. Biotic and abiotic resources. On the basis of their origin, natural resources can be classified into biotic and abiotic. Biotic means all biological or living things, such as plants, animals, insects, etc. Abiotic, which include all the physical or non-living things, such as land, minerals, soil, water, and climate, the thing which I've already explained you. Next comes actual and potential resources, that is on the basis of their stage of development. Natural resources can be divided into actual or potential resources. Underline that. Natural resources can be divided into actual or potential resources. Now, resources whose quantity and quality are known to us are known as actual resource. Example: oil reserves, hydroelectric or tidal power, deposits of iron ore are some of the actual resources. And potential resources are, as I told you, let us see what is written in the text, are those resources that are known to exist but have not been used, like waterfall, wind and solar energy are potential resources. windmills spread along the Indian coastline have potential for greater development. And in fact, biofuel as an alternative fuel is another potential resources. You know what is biofuel? Maybe you have read in your earlier classes biogas, which is made from the decaying, the decompose, by decomposing all the remains of dead plants and animals. So that is called biofuel. So that is also a potential resource. Earlier days, I don't know whether you have come across or not. I don't think so. This present age, this maybe as you are just class 8. But I have seen during my childhood days, people cooking the cooking gas that we have, the LPG gas that we have right now. But in villages and all, they were like, they used to cook, they used to use this biogas, biofuel. There was a kind of a ball, a big ball, you can say that in simple term, a tank which was being built, which was constructed at the backyard of the house, and all the after we peel off the vegetables and all those things which gets decayed, which gets decomposed, okay, not plastic materials and all. So all those vegetables and all, everything were dumped out there, and yeah, after a long process, like it has got its own natural process, it gets decomposed, and it kind of releases a gas, and there is a pipe from that particular tank which comes directly to the cooking stove, and this is how things were being cooked, which was much more, I would say, convenient for the people, and at the same time economical as compared to the present scenario that we are living in today. But however, people have forgotten all those things. But try it at home. You can take it as an experiment. You can make up a small tank where you can decompose all this, what do you call, the decaying, the dying, the dead plants, okay, and then the vegetables, the skin of the vegetables which are used in the kitchen, and see, you will see this releasing gases. It will take some time, there's a process of decaying, and then automatically biofuel gets generated. So that is called actual and potential resource. Next comes renewable and non-renewable. I hope you know what is renewable and non-renewable. You have also come across this terminology in your previous classes. In simple definition, if I give you, those resources which can be renewed, right, which can be regenerated, are called renewable resources, whereas non-renewable resources are those which, on the other hand, cannot be developed so quickly. Like for example, the petrol, the diesels, the fuels that we have. Yes, we get that from, what do you call, from the earth, from the soil, but to form, in the process of formation of those fuels, it takes millions of years. It is not so quick, it is not so easy, and no human being survives for millions of years. So as a result, these resources are considered to be non-renewable resources, because by the time it gets regenerated, like it's a quite lengthy process. So that is why they are considered to be non-renewable. But whereas renewables are, like, which can be, like soil, water, right, even forests, they can be renewed quickly. Next we have continuous resources. Continuous resources are those which are categorized based on the availability. All right. Now, natural resources can be continuous, but as the term itself explains, continuous means it must be available all throughout, okay, and it must not depend upon human action, that if the human being does something, then it will be available or not. No, if that is the criteria, then it cannot be included under continuous resources. Like for example, solar energy, tidal energy, these are continuous resource which does not depend upon human being and which is available throughout, okay, continuous resource. So this is a very easy terminology. I hope you got it. So what did we discuss today? Biotic, actual and potential, and renewable, non-renewable. Next comes continuous resource, right? I will end up here today. Go through the text. Yes, we just have another few more topics. Hopefully by next 1 or 2 classes this chapter will get over. All right, you don't have to worry about the completion of the syllabus or the completion of the chapter. What you need to worry is that how can you develop yourself, how can you grow your knowledge, right? how can you enhance your skill. This is what is important. Clear? Try to understand things and then read the text. Without understanding, if you read, no use. All right then, see you in the next class. Stay at home, study well. God bless you all.